Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. Oh my God, it is a little bit early, and I have to admit, I almost wanted to sleep in and do this live in bed this morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Lala Angela Wayne. I am your host to Range Woman, the variety show. And today we have got an amazing guest. I think, so I give nickname to my guests, and you guys all know that if you've been watching it for a while. I really think Alexis Jane is a bit of a breakthrough addict. She loves breakthroughs and she does amazing breakthrough sessions. So today on Friday the 13th, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome a really good friend and also somebody who's helped me with an amazing breakthrough recently. The amazing Alexis Jane. Before I bring her on, just a friendly reminder, we love connections. Alexis and I are like, we yap all the time, but we love connections. So if you're watching us live, make sure you comment below and interact with us. And if you're watching the replay, hashtag Range Woman. So without further ado, hello, Alexis. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you? This is exciting.
I'm great. You? Well, thank you for dressing up for me. I feel so special now. Alexis like, I put my special lippy on, got my nails done, I got my top all for you. I'm like, oh my God. I feel so
Put
special.
my earrings in and everything. Changed to my earrings.
Looking amazing. Now, Friday the 13th.
It is Friday the 13th, and I totally forgot about it until you just said that.
Well, it's funny. I actually, funny enough, I think it was 5 years ago, it's when I bought my dream car. And when I went to pick it up, it was Friday the 13th as well. And everyone's like, don't do it. I'm like, actually, I think Friday the 13th is kind of special. It's people see it as like this witchy witch day. And I'm just like, well, to me, it's just a very spiritual day. What's your thought?
Well, when you first said Friday the 13th, what it always reminds me of is kids' movies.
Zombies
when they
and vampires.
Yeah, when they change, like they go to bed and then the next morning they wake up and they're in somebody else's body.
Yep.
That's what it always reminds me of. But like when you said that was the first thing that popped into my head. I was like, oh, that was a bit strange, but yeah, that's what.
And when you said that, is that the movie called Beak? Is it Beak?
Oh, there's a few of them.
When Tom Hanks went to the vending machine, and wished that he was like, it's the one that he plays on the piano in that toy store.
That's not the one I was thinking of. The one I was thinking of has Jamie Lee Curtis in it.
Ooh, I'll check it out. Anyways.
Anyway, that's what comes to mind every time.
What are people like? There's probably people jumping on, going like, "What are these two crazy women talking about?" And if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, like in the US and the UK, it's still Thursday at the moment, but we're in Australia and it's Friday. So we're living in the future. Now, I introduced you as a bit of a breakthrough addict, but also alignment is so important to you just through, we haven't known each other for a long time, but every time we talk, it's always about energy. It's always about alignment. So what does alignment actually mean to you?
So alignment to me is really having the clarity of the things that you actually truly deeply want. And is what you actually truly deeply want, are you in alignment with it? And when I say in alignment with it, does it feel nice? Does it feel good? Or does it feel icky? Does it feel pushed? Does it feel restrictive? So when you're in alignment, it should feel expansive. It should feel that that's exactly what you want and you know that you can get it. So like one of the things that I like to teach my clients in regards to manifestation is, and being in alignment, when you're driving your car and you're like, I'm going to get a parking spot, the parking gods are on my side. It's exactly the same thing that you use, like exactly the same energy that you use with getting a car park, to what it is if you're wanting to have something show up in your business, in your life, in your relationship, whatever that looks like. Because you know that getting a parking spot there's no resistance behind that. You know that
Mm,
you go, I'm getting a parking spot, so you get it. And there's
mm,
no, the more that you practice that, the more that it just starts to happen, because you expect it every time you go to the shops that you're going to get an amazing parking spot. And you're in alignment with that and the expectation of it. So being in alignment is having that expectation, having the clarity, and knowing exactly what it is that you want, and then taking the actions to go and get it.
I'm sure you get this question a lot in terms of the parking spot, and I get that with my clients too. They're like, yeah, I expected a parking spot, but it doesn't show up. What happened there? And it's not just once that it doesn't show up, twice it doesn't show up. This alignment thing, it's BS. It doesn't work. Have you ever had that question?
I have had that question. And there's a little voice inside your head that is saying you're not going to get a parking spot. And if you're not aware of that happening, then it doesn't show up. Because I like to play with this all the time, and I did it yesterday. I went and did one of the biggest runs of my life yesterday. My legs were shaking, and I was like, I actually cannot drive anymore because I couldn't put my foot on the clutch because my legs were shaking so much.
Oh, that is so funny.
So as I drove down the main street of where I live, there's not normally a parking spot, and I was very clear and specific. I'm getting a parking spot, and it's going to happen, and it's done. And as I turned into the street, there was a parking spot there. Thank God, because I actually could not continue to drive. I would have had an accident. My foot was like this on the clutch. I was like, oh my goodness. I cannot do it.
Oh
I ran
God.
stairs. So it's being really clear and knowing and properly expecting, because if it's really uncovering the process that you're taking yourself through. So if the parking spot hasn't shown up 1, 2, 3, or 4 times, well, it's really about coming back into self and saying, well, where am I not being aware of the inner voice, or where am I not really actually 100% expecting it to show up? Because when you 100% expect it shows up.
And quite often that little voice is like a millisecond of a thought. So you don't catch it quick enough, it's there. And that's the way I kind of look at it, is like, imagine you've got a garden and there's a little seed of a weed. Right? When it's in the soil, you don't see it. And sometimes it's really only until it grows longer than your tree or your little shrub at home, you go like, oh, there's a weed there.
Yep.
And yeah, you go.
I was just going to say, it's the awareness and really being conscious and bringing the unconscious to the conscious mind, so that you can start really unpacking what your patterns are and knowing, because we have unconscious patterns that we play out every single day, until we start breaking it down and really understanding what our daily patterns are and what our daily thoughts are. And what's our dominating thought throughout the day? Is it a positive dominating thought? Is it a negative dominating thought? If the negative conversation comes into your head, are you picking it up and allowing it to flow through and acknowledging that it's there, and then flipping it over to the positive?
That is so good. So for those of us, because I can jump in and talk about this, take a deep dive all day, but I don't think not many of my audience know who Alexis really is. And you probably just see her as somebody who, who's commenting and does really cool videos, and also share her photos. So for those of us who don't know who you are, who is Alexis Jane?
Who is Alexis Jane? Alexis Jane is a single mama. I have a little beautiful girl. She's actually not little anymore.
Not so little anymore.
She's 10 and she's getting big. And she's turning into a little woman, and it's scary. So I have a beautiful little girl, and I also have a business that I help women, like you were saying before, break through. And I do a lot of the energetics and all the energy work underneath all of the things to help my clients get really clear and have clarity on what it is that they want, and become in alignment with what it is that they want. Because sometimes my clients think that they want things, and when we really dig deeper, it's actually not their belief, it's not their dream, it's not their desire. They've picked it up somewhere, and they're going towards somewhere that's actually really not in what their soul truly deeply wants. And I also help my clients who dream bigger, and dreaming bigger meaning that helping more people, making more of an impact, getting out there more and being seen. One of my clients never thought that she was going to have $1 million business, and she's very close to having $1 million business now. And that wasn't even in when we first started working together. That was just too big of a vision for her to see. And it's just holding the space for my clients and having that big picture, and then helping them navigate every day, every week, to what steps need to get taken to have that big picture on that journey.
That is so cool. So when did you start your obsession with breakthroughs?
Well, it really all started when I started my business because I went through a separation about, what year are we in? 2020. 7 years ago. My ex-husband and I still have a great relationship. I probably speak to him more now than what I did when we were actually together. He's like my best friend. And when we went through our separation, it was, when you're going through a separation, you get married, you think you're going to be married for forever, and, things happen. And through that, I went through a massive amount of depression, anxiety, went on antidepressants, went to psychologists, psychiatrists, counselors, all of the things. And what I found was I wasn't moving forward in where I was, and I felt that they kept me stuck in the past, kept me stuck in my story, kept me stuck in the without having an inspiring future. And then I did some research and found life coaching, and then from life coaching I went to a 2-day breakthrough weekend, and then I went to a 7-day breakthrough week, and then I was like, these are awesome modalities. Like, this is awesome. I'm clearing my stuff a lot faster. I've got an inspiring future. I've got somewhere to go. And then I went and studied all of the things, and then created some of my own modalities, created some of my own techniques and tools and things. And watching my clients have the breakthroughs within that moment, and knowing that every week those little breakthroughs that were happening, and even when we're on a call, even when I'm on calls with my clients, when we're clearing the energy and creating more space in their container, what they're wanting in their world shows up either on the call or just after the call. I had a client, every time we jumped onto a call, she had 2 or 3 clients signing up while we're on the call, and then people calling her after, as we were clearing the energy in every session. So I just know the power of having a breakthrough. I know the power of really clearing that energy that's stuck inside. And we can't change the past, but we can eliminate the emotion connected to an event. So I love clearing the emotions that are connected to an event so that we can continue moving forward.
So what do you think are because I love knowing about people's superpowers, their strength, and, I call them magic, superpowers, interchangeable. What do you think are your top 3 magic or superpowers?
Top 3.
Top 3.
Top
10.
10. Did you say 10? You're putting me on the spot. So one of my superpowers is really seeing what my clients are not seeing, and really digging deep into the questioning of helping them unpack what it is that they truly deeply want. So I can really see what's happening above my client's head, and kind of pulling it all together once I get them to unpack exactly what's going on in them for their daily life, their business, and all of the things, and then really pulling all the pieces together for them so that they can actually see. 'Cause sometimes when we've got it stuck in our head, we can't see clearly because there's just too much stuff. So when we unpack it and get it out, and then I help pull it all together, and then they've got a clear path to moving forward. And another superpower is clearing energy, which you have experienced before.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I love to do, is that process that we went through, because it's all metaphorical. We're not going back to the event. You're not talking about, a situation. You're not breathing fire and fuel into something that doesn't need to be fueled up. So clearing that energy and knowing when to tap into that and just dropping you straight into it and coming straight out of it. It only takes 5-10 minutes, not even 10 minutes, depending on how big the clearing is.
That's what I said to you straight after our session was, I love your process so much because you and I are both the kind of girls. It's like no fuss, right? Don't take me through a story. Quite often I go into a meditation or a breakthrough. It's like, I'm there already. Stop asking me to sort of picture and paint it. I'm there. Just like take me through it quickly, get rid of it. And your process is literally like in and out, gone, done. I'm like, love it.
Yeah.
So for anyone who wants a quickie, go and see Alexis.
I'll give you a quickie and it will be a good one. This is what happens at 6:20 on a Friday morning.
Oh, yeah.
I've only already been up for a few hours. So that's one of my superpowers. And being able to laugh in this is a really good one. Someone is having a moment. So I'll use Zoe as an instance. So if my daughter's having a moment and she's screaming and carrying on because I don't really know what's going on, she's just having an emotional moment. I label what the emotion is that I feel that she's going through, whether it's frustration, whether it's anger, whether it's annoyance, and I allow her just to have her moment. But as she's having her moment, I've labeled it anger, for instance, and I love all the anger that's happening within her body. And then I love all the anger that's happening within me, even though I'm not angry, but I just love the anger in me. And what happens in that moment is it neutralizes, because love neutralizes everything, and it just calms the energy down within the room. So we can control the energy in a room because we are all powerful beings. We can all do this. It's about practicing it and learning exactly how to do it. I saw this be demonstrated at an event that I went to, and then I started practicing it. And I used it with a friend who was having like a full-on blown like meltdown, like kicking stuff, carrying on, screaming. And I just loved every ounce of him, every moment. And then the two of us looked at each other and started laughing as, what did you just do to me? And I'm like, I was just loving you. That was it. I wasn't doing anything other than loving you. Like, that was really weird because my whole body just went, and I was like, yeah, I just loved all the anger and frustration in you and all the anger and frustration in me. And it neutralized it, and then we could not stop laughing. And he was like, I don't even know, A, why I cracked it, and B, that just like was like moments, and you're so calm. So just being calm and just loving that moment, that's a really, really cool superpower.
I think one of the superpowers that you don't quite often display on the outside, and it's only until I got to know you a little bit that I get to experience that, is you are actually highly intuitive. Like even through just our conversations, through your sessions, you've got this really innate intuition. You're just able to tap into the right areas, like even just through conversations. And I think that's a gift that a lot of people are like, oh, well, I don't have it. And the truth is, I think all of us all have it. But my question to you is, when was it? Because I have a feeling you know that you're intuitive. But when was it when you kind of realized, I need to trust my gut feelings more?
So I don't know when I realized that I was intuitive. I feel like it's been with me for a very long time. And when I started to realize I was intuitive, I stopped trusting my intuition.
Oh, wow.
Because it was so easy for me. It was already there. It's like anything. When you like, it's like when you're manifesting. If you manifest a car spot all the time and then you start being aware of trying to do it, I really don't like the word trying, but when you're trying to do it, it doesn't happen because you're now putting too much focus on it, whereas before it was just a normal, natural thing. And that's what happened to me in regards to my intuition. I've tapped back into it now, but there was a time where I wasn't really trusting my intuition, and this is something that I'm working through at the moment, because it kind of scares me a little bit. It also intrigues me, is that I can actually see things. I'm starting to become quite psychic in things that I'm doing. So the other day, there's been things that have happened before I've got onto phone calls with clients, and there was a situation, I'm not going to go into it, but I sat there and I was getting onto a sales call, and she was a referral. I closed my eyes and I saw this scene play out, and I thought it had something to do with myself, because it was around a single mother and a really hectic situation. And then 20 minutes later, I messaged like, hey, here's the link to jump onto the call. And I got a message saying the call's not going to happen today. We're going to have to move it because this situation had occurred. I was like, holy guacamole, like that's quite scary that I actually saw all of the things. And then about 2 weeks ago, I went for a run. I was coming back to the car and I messaged my girlfriend. I was like, hey, are you guys talking about getting a dog? She's like, yes. So what breed is it? And I said, I don't know the breed, but it's a little brown fluffy one. She said, that's the one that our daughter wants. I was like, I can actually see it running around your house. Like I don't know where it even came from. Like I know that they'd spoken about getting a dog maybe 2 years ago, and the conversation hasn't come back up. Like we haven't spoken about it again. And I was like, whoa. So I'm starting to see things, and things are coming to me, and I'm allowing them to flow through and not resist them anymore. And there's been another one that came up in regards to somebody, and I had to follow the process and just allow the different signs to come through. And then once I released that and actually told the person that I needed to tell whatever it was that I needed to tell them, like that energy is now released from inside of me. There's no more resistance around it. So yeah, the psychicness is coming through, and it's something that now trust more.
That is so exciting. And I think we all, like I said, we all have intuitive abilities, and quite often it scares us because in some sense, there's so many movies and things that just make things woo-woo look scary. But when you can get over that initial scariness and really open yourself up and trust, and I think trust is so important when it comes to not just with the woo-woo stuff, but with our intuitions, the way that we operate and do things. And I remember when I first started doing Reiki healings, and Reiki is quite a fluid modality where you can tap into other things. And I would get insights about my clients, and they used to be like, no, they're just thoughts. But when you start testing out, and it's a bit like the car scenario where you're finding a car spot, when you start testing out and trusting it, that muscle grows. And I love when my spiritual coach was teaching me all the stuff. She's like, it's just a muscle. Intuition is just a muscle. Our psychic abilities, whatever you want to call it, it's just a muscle. So in terms of muscles, we all know, and because you're a big exercise person as well, muscles need exercising and need growing, need developing. And I know you're quite a routine kind of person. So what is your morning routine at the moment? And the reason I say at the moment is because I believe routines can be quite fluid depending on our lifestyle. So that's why I asked the question, what is your morning routine at the moment?
At the moment, which I've only just started again this week, is my 4 a.m. starts. And so when I first wake up, I pop on either Abraham Hicks or I pop on a meditation, and I put my alarm on for however long the meditation is, just in case I have fallen back to sleep. And then I get up and I do.
Actually, that's a good one.
I have to, because sometimes I fall back to sleep and then I get frustrated with myself. And then I journal. And then depending on what's happening within the morning, because sometimes I have phone calls at 6 a.m. I will normally at 6 a.m. if there's no phone calls, I'll go for a big run and come home, get myself ready, and then get Zoe ready for school, because that's just the normal. But every Friday she's with the dad, so Friday mornings I don't have to get her ready. So it's the meditation, journaling, visualization. Depending on how I feel, if I want to go for a run in the morning or if I want to go for a run after I drop her to school, whatever's going on. I love listening to Bob Proctor. I have a slight obsession with him. And You Were Born Rich. There was a moment where I was watching that every single day. It's a 6-part series. They're 2-hour videos on YouTube. They're amazing. Check them out. So that's my morning routine. And then my nighttime routine, I do journaling shoot as well before I go to bed and ask for what it is that I want to show up the following day.
That is so cool. For those people who don't know how to start journaling, I know you love journaling. What are some of the, I guess, easy steps of beginners who want to tap into journaling but don't know how?
So I feel that journaling has, when people talk about journaling, oh, I'm going to sneeze. Oh,
bless you.
So with journaling, I'm just going to keep talking until it decides to come out. The thing that I love to teach my clients is there is a structure to it, but then there isn't a structure to it. So putting your timer on for 10 minutes and doing a brain dump, just getting all the noise out of your head. Lexi's told me to do a brain dump. I don't really know what I'm doing. My timer's on for 10 minutes. I need to go to the bathroom. I can hear the birds outside. Someone's just woken up in the house. I can hear little footsteps coming into my bedroom. I'm going to keep writing because I just need to keep writing until the alarm goes off. And then as you're doing that, you're getting all the surface noise out of your head. And then you can ask yourself a conscious question. And I got this from Tony Robbins, the conscious question. So I used to do a brain dump and kind of just maybe set an intention, but never really ask myself a quality conscious question to live more intentionally and on purpose. So some of the questions I'll ask myself is, how do I want to be the best version of myself today? Or who do I need to become to achieve all the goals that I want to be achieving? So doing the journaling and just doing the brain dump is really, really, really super powerful. One of my clients, I'm not doing it. I said, can you just entertain me for 7 days? Entertain me for 7 days and let's see how you go with your journaling. And a few days into it, she went, oh my goodness, I'm hiding from the world. And I didn't know that I was actually hiding. I'm not cleaning my teeth in the morning. I'm not brushing my hair. I'm just rolling out of bed and just starting to do work. And not until later in the day am I actually getting myself ready. So then we just had to change her morning routine because she wasn't aware of the patterns that she'd created for herself because she was living so unconsciously.
And she sounds like she was working from home as well, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's sort of an unconscious pattern a lot of people who are starting to working from home due to COVID are experiencing as well. And really, I remember when I was working, so I had 6 weeks at home, and it's really consciously making it's so easy. You roll out of bed, your desk is right next. Well, I live in a 1-bedroom apartment. Your desk is literally like 2 steps away. And it's so easy to just go, yeah, I'm just going to jump to work, because I think a lot of us modern day people don't realize is work is actually an escape as well. You know, we talk about sex, alcohol, cigarettes. I always put sex first. And people generally think, Lala, you're crazy. I'm like, no, sex, alcohol, cigarettes. When I say sex again, food. But what we don't realize is work has really become a massive
Sorry,
escape.
one of my friends always laughs. He's like, all you think about is food, sex and food, and having a glass of wine. I'm like, yeah, problem.
Oh, that's just so funny.
But it's true, right? But no one actually talks about it.
No, that's the thing.
It's like
and
this
you know,
hidden thing.
Yep. And I reckon sex is like money, because sex is powerful, money is powerful, and they will tap into pleasure. We all as a society need to talk about these two things more.
Agreed.
So I guess what I was getting at is, you know, obviously you've got a little girl that's not so little anymore. You've got a thriving business. You've also got a very active family, and you're actively involved in your family life. You've got amazing friends. As a range woman, how do you flow in between all these tasks at ease? I've got my answers, but I always love to find out the answers for my guests, because I believe we all have a different version of what range woman really looks like and what our desired lifestyle looks like. And we all have a different way of, I don't like to use the word juggling, so I prefer to use flowing between the different states, basically.
So when my morning routine's really set and I've got the structure in the morning, the rest of my day flows because I filled my cup up in the morning. I filled all of the things that I need for myself. And in filling myself up, then everything else can fall into place after that. And if I'm feeling a little bit off, like yesterday, I felt every ounce of my body just felt heavy and gross. And I was having a bit of a binge Netflix moment, watching Jane the Virgin. Have you watched it? It's a really random show.
I haven't watched it yet, but you told me last time. I was like, okay, that's a Christmas thing.
It's really random. Anyway, I've become a little bit addicted to it. And yesterday, what did I do? I took Zoe to school. I came home and I had a breakthrough session with one of my clients. And then I was like, I'm feeling a little bit tired. I didn't get much sleep because I slept with me last night. Do I go to sleep? Do I not? Anyway, so I just went, you know what, stop judging yourself. Just put some TV on. And then I was like, no, I actually need to do something. So I went down and I ran the stairs and I kept running and running, because when we've got stagnant energy, so when we're feeling tired and we maybe shouldn't be feeling tired, get out and move, put oxygen in your body, because our energy's locked up inside of us, and when we move we start opening up those energy pockets, which means it's going to bring us more energy. So there's a set of stairs and I call them my magical stairs, because it's all trees, and then you get to the top and you just see trees, and it's magical, and there's birds and there's butterflies, and I just love it. So finding a place where I feel energized from the earth and from the nature that's around me. So yesterday I did the stairs, came home, had a shower, did my hair, put my makeup on, and I said to Mum, let's go get a glass of wine. I've got to figure out technology and I are becoming friendly with each other. And I'm learning more about how to use technology. So I went and had a glass of wine with Mum and did some work. And so I was actually still being able to have conversations with Mum while I was figuring stuff out, and just allowing it to flow that way without putting pressure on myself, going, I needed to get these things done and I haven't done it yet. I just allowed myself to go for the run, and then whatever flowed after that. And when I got my nails done and everything just worked out and everything got done the way that it needed to. But if I'd sat there going, I need to get all this stuff, and put myself into like judgment mode, fear, pressure, none of it would have got done. Like I wouldn't have been as productive as what I was if I had just continued that pattern in my head. So I know definitely getting out and going for a run is something that really helps me come back into myself and come back into my flow state.
And would you say, by you being able to come back to yourself first and giving love to yourself first, it will allow you to to emanate love a lot more, like that process you talked about, how you're sending your friend plenty of love and sending yourself love with the anger, for example, for your daughter. Would you say that it's really all about filling up your own cup first?
Definitely, because if I don't fill my cup up, I'm really not present to anybody or anything. I'm frustrated, I'm annoyed, I'm not the best version of myself when I haven't filled my love cup up first in the morning by doing the things that I need to get done. And once I get that all sorted and done, then I can really get into the things that I need to get done. Filling myself up first.
That's beautiful. What's your advice for perhaps someone like you, a single mom that wanted to, I call it, so gosh, all these fancy terms that I'm using relating to sex this morning. So in Mandarin, or in Chinese, we have a saying, it's called the second spring. You know, when a woman experiences their second spring, it's like you're experiencing being a teenager again when your hormones high and you just have all this energy. So what would you say to a single mom perhaps is looking for their second spring in life or a second chance in life in terms of having, I guess, having something exciting, having something, it's like giving birth to a baby, but in a business sense. How does someone get started in terms of the breakthroughs and beliefs they probably need to overcome?
Well, it's really a process of really uncovering. The very first thing is, what do you want? What is it that you actually want? And I know for myself, when I really dug deep into knowing what I wanted, it was to show my daughter that anything is possible when you put your mind to it.
Mm.
And she's seen me go through months of just taking her, like just being able to take her to school, come home, and I put myself back to bed, and I would cry and cry, and I'd show up for my clients and give every ounce of my energy to my clients, and then I'd put myself back to bed because I was just going through the motions. But I also knew that showing up for my clients was what I needed to do for myself. And that really started to help me get out of it. But really knowing and understanding what it is that you want. What is your why?
Mm.
Why are you starting your business? What is it that you want to be sharing with the world? What is your gifts that you want to bring to the world? Because everyone's got their own beautiful, amazing gifts, and everyone's unique and different. And just really finding the people, the tribe around you that is going to support you, that's going to love you, that you can have conversations with, that can really elevate you to that next level, best version of yourself, because you are not your past. And this is something that
Mm.
I had to work through. I'm not my past. I get to, every morning when you wake up, it's a fresh canvas. You get to
Mm.
paint the picture of the day, how you want to show up, how you want to be playing the game, how you want to be with your clients. If you're just starting a business and you don't have any clients yet, send us a message, either one of us, and have a conversation and really start understanding, who do you want to be working with. And
Mm.
a little secret is, you want to be working pretty much with everything about you. So you want to be attracting people just like yourself. So getting the second wind, second spring in life and business. One thing, like I said, fitness is a big thing for me. I'm a ex-personal trainer, so I know that. And just getting oxygen back into your body and movement, and just doing one thing. If you're just doing that one thing that's going to move you closer to where you need to get to every single day, and stop judging where you
Mm.
are on your journey, because everybody's journey is different, and you can't compare your journey from being in business for 10 minutes compared to someone who's been in business for 10 years. You just can't. It's completely different.
That is so important though. Like I have so many clients come to me and go like, "Oh, I want to be just like you, but I'm not you yet." I'm like, hold on a second. I'm pretty sure the last time I checked, you've only just started like 2 seconds ago." Or maybe not 2 seconds, but 2 months. And with Alexis, I know you've been in business for 6, 7 years already. I've been various businesses in 4 years, and it takes time. And I think it's the experience and the learning and the exploration of who we are. Like every time I elevate, I get a new level of who I am. Every time I have a good conversation with someone like Alexis, my brain opens up and go like, oh, maybe that's a new level. Maybe that's the next level. And that's why I think it's so important to have a mentor, a coach. It doesn't matter whether you want a business or whether I believe everyone should have a coach. And that's just what I believe. So on that note, Alexis, how do we work with you? How does somebody who, after watching this show, is like, I want to work with you? How do we get hold of you? How do we know all the things about you? How do we stalk you?
So Facebook's probably the best place to go, because that's where I hang out most of my days. Instagram and I are becoming friends. I'm slowly kind of moving over to that platform, but I've found that Facebook is where I am mainly. So sending me a message, becoming my friend, sending me a message on Facebook and letting me know that you saw me on here, and then we can jump on a phone call and have a conversation
Mm.
and see if I can help you, see where you're at, see what your goals are, and it's really all about life and business. I think that you become your business, your business becomes you. It's a part of what happens in life when we have our businesses. And one of the biggest things that I've noticed with myself and my clients is when we start our own business, all of these emotions and all of these hidden things that have been laying dormant inside of us decide to start bubbling up for us to deal with.
You want to work on business? Let's work on you first.
Yeah. And that's all. And working on your mindset. So you could have every strategy in the world, and it's coming back to that car situation again, that car spot is, if you've got the right strategy, but your mindset's not right, you're not going to achieve the things that you want to be achieving. You just don't, because your mindset, your energy, what you're calling in is not going to show up it will show up to a certain degree, but not to the extent that you want it to be. So it's really digging deep into that mindset. And once you get the mindset stuff sorted and you're working on that every single day, and you've got your own system, because everyone's unique and everyone has their own blueprint in regards to sales. Everyone has their own blueprint in the way that they are, their own DNA, because we're all different, but we're all the same, and we all have the same potential. And it's about learning how to tap into your potential and cracking open your heart space so that you're becoming a magnet to all the things that you desire.
That is so beautiful, Alexis. Thank you so much for your time. Now, have you done your morning exercise yet, or are you about to go to a morning exercise?
No. Well, I have a 7:30 phone call, so I've got a phone call in 45 minutes. So I won't go until 8 o'clock.
Well, it's a lovely and gorgeous day out there so far before the storm comes. So I want to
there was
thank
lots of thunder
you.
last night.
Did you?
Did you hear the thunder?
I couldn't, like, where we are, like, I can't see nothing. I just know it's so sticky and humid. It's going to be a storm this afternoon.
Like, but I needed something pretty. I needed something pretty on today and bright and fun.
Thank you so much. We definitely look gorgeous. Thank you so much for coming on early for this show on your special Friday morning. And
you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Highly recommend Alexis Breakthrough Sessions, and hers. It's magical. That's all I can say. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I know I still owe you a testimonial, so that's definitely coming. And if you want to check out Alexis Jane on Facebook and on Instagram. And I will see you next time. Thank you, Alexis.
Thank you. Bye.